everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea. Today I wanted to do a get ready with me using some of the new products that I've got this month. My daughter is laying right outside the door to my office just chattering away and kicking the floor. So if you hear something, that's what it is. But the biggest reason I wanted to do this is because Lisa from Banding, Panning, and Beyond recently sent me this Love Luxe Beauty blue jeans quad as a thank you for helping her with her haul, which I'll leave it up in the cards, whichever side that is. But as a thank you for that, which she really did not have to do, so thank you so much, Lisa. She got me this. So this was like why I wanted to do this, but I also got there's only a few other things that are new that I'm going to use in today's video, and those are for my birthday. My sister got me the Rare Beauty blush Enjoy, and she got me the Fenty Beauty Mademoiselle lipstick in Tiger Teeny, so I'm going to use those. And then I just picked up this new highlighter from Copacetic Cosmetics in Pumpkin Guts. This was a re-release from last year, I think, but I've only swatched it. I haven't used it yet, so I wanted to use that, and everything else is just going to be the usual stuff that I use. So, whoa, we're gonna attempt this. I'm trying to film with my back camera to make it the quality a little better, so hopefully I have it set up correctly and I don't need to scrap this entire video. But I don't know, like, because I do the same things for my makeup pretty much most days and most times that I do get ready with me. So I don't know, do you want me to just kind of like show you what I use and list it down below, or tell you, or do you even care? Because I'll be honest, when I watch Get Ready With Me's, it's not so much, I'm not really watching it for the products unless it's a specific, like, trying out this brand or whatever. So I never personally look at the description box when people list that stuff, but let me know if that's something that you think I should do, just if you wonder. But I'm gonna, as always, start with my e.l.f. finishing powder before I do my primer. I kind of have an idea of what I want to talk about today since it's October and I love horror movies. I wanted to talk about some of my favorite horror movies, but if it hasn't already been made abundantly clear by this time, I'm not very well prepared most of the time, so I don't have a list. And just as an aside, this is the Smashbox, what is it, primerizer, and it's in my Throwback 30 project, and I had to use my little spatula because this was the last application of it, so it's empty. Yay. But anyway, as I was saying, I wanted to kind of talk about some of my favorite horror movies, because horror movies, when I do have time to watch movies, are like my favorite things to watch. But this is going to be kind of like an off-the-cuff list, just because I'm not really a person who prepares for things. Like, I don't have that much time to just sit and compile a list of horror movies that I want to talk about during a Get Ready With Me, so hopefully I don't forget any. The first, like, series that I love is the Evil Dead series for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know about everybody, but so it was directed by Sam Raimi. It stars Bruce Campbell, and they are both Michigan natives. They grew up in Royal Oak, which is actually about half an hour away from where I live. And so that's one thing that it's got going for him. Although it wasn't filmed in Michigan, but everybody in the movie, I think, for the most part, is from Michigan. And it starts out, there's 3 movies, it's a trilogy. The first one is pretty much a straight up horror movie. The second one is a mix. It's like half horror movie. It's mostly horror movie, but it's got some pretty ridiculous like slapstick and humor, like dark humor stuff in it. And then the third one, which happens to be my favorite one, but I think part of the reason is because that's the one that I saw first. The third one is just straight up slapstick, but as a horror movie. And actually, there's also a series on Showtime called Ash versus the Evil Dead, which I still haven't watched the 3rd season. There's only 3 seasons for that, but that's good too. But I love Bruce Campbell, so. And I actually, well, it's got my husband in it, so maybe I won't show it. If I can find the one that's just me and him. For my birthday last year, my husband actually, we went to a showing of Evil Dead 2 in Royal Oak, and Bruce Campbell was going to be there. And I just wanted to go to the showing, but my husband surprised me with the extra, like you got to do a meet and greet with Bruce Campbell and take a photo with him. So I got a couple photos with him, and I'll try, if I can find the one that's just me and Bruce Campbell, I'll insert it, because I don't, or maybe I'll just cover up my husband's face in the other one. But that was pretty cool. So definitely, and I'm sorry, this video is going to be all over the place, because like I said, I don't prepare. I just kind of stream of conscious talk when I do Get Ready With Me's, because that's just how I roll. But so the Evil Dead movies are amazing. I love this one. Like, technically it's a horror movie, but it's that same, I would put it in the same category as Evil Dead 2, where it's definitely got horror elements, but it's definitely not like a straight up serious horror movie. And I mean, from the title you'll understand. It's called Bubba Hotep, which also stars Bruce Campbell. And without, well, I don't know if I'll really give too much away. It stars Bruce Campbell as an aging Elvis in a Texas nursing home, and he has to team up with Black JFK, who's played by Ozzie Davis. They have to defeat this mummy that's, you know, sucking the souls out of the residents of the nursing home. It sounds bananas, and it is, but it is such a good movie. It's so good. I love Ozzie Davis, and trust me, it's an experience. It's something that you just have to see. Taking a break from the movie chat for a second, this BH Cosmetics powder, I finally hit pan in it after, this is a really old powder and I haven't used it for a while. And after I finished my e.l.f. powder, I started using this again. When did I finish the e.l.f. one? Like in June. And I already had a pretty big dip going on in this, and it's really firmly pressed. And I only really use it to like set my T-zone and under eyes and stuff, because it is a matte face powder. But it took a long time for this to hit pan, so I don't know if the formula is still like this, because like I said, this is probably maybe 3 or 4, well actually it's probably 4 years old by now. But okay, so I think, going back to a movie chat now, I think those are the two like Bruce Campbell movies I wanted to talk about. I'm going to use my Rare Beauty. I've used it, as you can see, maybe with my sponge before, but I want to try it with this e.l.f. stippling brush to see how that dispenses product. That's probably still way too much. This, you really do not need, like, literally that's all that you need. But as far as like actual scary movies, the two, well, maybe I do need more than that. The two that I saw, ooh, yeah, I need a little more on this side. The two that I saw that were by far the scariest were Paranormal Activity, and I saw that when it first came out. So my birthday's in October, and you know, lots of horror movies come out in October. So for my birthday, whatever year that came out, like 2006 or something, I don't know. My friends and I went to a midnight showing. I did not sleep at all that night. And then the other movie that really, really got to me was Hereditary, which is really good if you're into horror movies, and Toni Collette is amazing. And it's just, it's like family drama, and then with a little bit of paranormal stuff, and then the last 10 minutes is just like balls to the wall, batshit insane. Like, it's really good. And I still haven't seen Midsummer by the same director, but I really want to. I'm going to use my pumpkin guts now. Doesn't that blush look so pretty? I'm so glad I got it. I don't know how well these are going to pair. Look at how pretty that is. I don't know how well these are going to pair with the blue eyeshadows, but I don't really care because I just want to use all this stuff. But also, let's see. I really liked It Follows as well. That was actually filmed here in Michigan in Sterling Heights, which is very close to where I live. So it was, not only was it a creepy AF movie, but it was fun watching the movie and also being like, hey, I recognize that freeway that they're driving on, or that neighborhood looks like the one my aunt and uncle live in, even though I don't think it was. But that movie was also pretty scary. I love the It movies. I've never seen the original miniseries with Tim Curry as Pennywise. I don't really want to. It just doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't look scary, I guess. I don't know. I know a lot of people grew up watching that, and when the new one came out, they were like, oh, but Tim Curry is the best Pennywise. But I will say, It Chapter 2 was not as good, but it was still good. I also really liked The Babadook, which was, well, it is an Australian horror movie. That, I get scared. Like, I love ghost stories and all that stuff, but actually some of the movies that scare me the most, like that one freaked me out, and Session 9 really freaked me out. And part of the reason that those scare me a little more is because they have supernatural elements, but it's also about the main character, like, kind of snapping. And that's something that actually happens in real life. And it's something that like most people don't see coming. So for me, those have moments in them that are scarier than any ghost story could ever be. So those are really good. Session 9 also, I'm sure I can find it. It's got a pretty famous internet meme of David Caruso like going F you to the camera. Like he's doing it to another character, but he's doing it into the camera, and it's just turned into this kind of meme. So if I can find it, I'll try to insert it, because that's the part that from that movie that everybody knows about. Fuck you. But that one is really good. I liked, what was it called? Lake Mungo. I think that was another Australian one. That one was it was interesting. It goes, you think you know what's happening, and it's like kind of documentary style. So you think you know what's happening, and then it goes in a different direction. It kind of flips it on your head what you thought was happening. And then at the very end, it flips it on its head again. So I don't know. It was really good. I liked that one. And then besides like actual horror movies, which actually The Conjuring was really good too. I liked the first Conjuring. The second Conjuring was okay, but I never saw The Nun either. Oh, how can I forget about Insidious? Insidious and Insidious 2 are like two of my favorite horror movies ever. Insidious 2 is actually, I think, a little bit better than Insidious. So Insidious is really good. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's one of my favorite horror movies. I am not really a fan of how they call like the ghost world, if you will. They call it the Further, and I'm sorry, that is like the stupidest name ever. And that takes me out of the movie a little bit. And then the like main demon, I guess, for the movie towards the end is kind of, it's not really scary in my opinion, that part, but that movie definitely does have some extremely creepy moments, especially in the end where the father is going to find his son in the ghost dimension, and then there's this whole like little scenario with this family, and they're smiling. It's the creepiest part of the movie. But if you haven't seen Insidious and you like horror movies, you definitely should watch it, because it's really good, actually. Filming this video is making me want to watch Insidious 1 and 2 again. The third one was dumb. It wasn't very good. I didn't care for it, and then I didn't even watch the fourth one because I didn't like the third one, so why would I want to watch the fourth one? But the first two are really good. So I guess most of those, with the exception maybe of Army of Darkness, which isn't scary in my opinion at all. It's just ridiculous, which is why I love it. In my opinion, there's two types of horror movies that I really like. The supernatural, like scary ones. I'm not, like, I've watched slashers like Scream, and I've seen all the Screams. I've watched the first Friday the 13th, but like slasher movies, I can take them or leave them. They're not my preference. My preference is the paranormal, like ghost stuff, and and I will make a further distinction. I prefer paranormal ghost movies over paranormal demon movies, because demons, I think, are they're not as scary to me as ghosts. But anyway, so there's the scary paranormal supernatural movies, and then there's the like so bad they're hilarious. And sometimes they're trying to be bad and sometimes they're not, but that's not my other just favorite genre of movie in general, whether it's horror or not. Just movies that are so bad that and so ridiculous that you just can't help but love them. So a few of my favorite movies like that. There's, and I can't even like recommend this movie unless you're watching it with a large group of people, which thanks to COVID is not going to happen for a while, but it's called Thanksgiving and it's really bad, but it's bad in a way that if you're watching it with a lot of people, especially if you have like a little alcohol, it's really fun to watch with a bunch of other people. So I'm gonna take a break from movie chat and I'm gonna swatch this before I use it. So this shade is Fringe. This shade is Bleached, Denim, and Dye. I'm gonna swatch them. Ooh, that's Fringe. It's like kind of like a flaky kind of shade. I keep hitting my mirror. Whoops. That one's not showing up super well, but let's see. Ooh. Oh my. So hopefully you can see that. But those are the 4 shades swatched out. So now I have to decide what I want to do with this. Okay. So movies that are so bad that you love them. And I don't know why, but like I feel like New Zealand does these types of movies really well. I think I'm going to start with this denim shade because I don't want to like really buff a ton of blue out. I want it to be more compact, I guess. So I'm going to start with the darker and then work into the lighter. But anyway, New Zealand, I feel, does those types of movies really well. There's one called Black Sheep, which I haven't watched it in a while, but it's basically like, I think it's more like, I can't remember if they're zombie sheep or no, I think they're genetically modified sheep that are kind of like zombie sheep. And if you get bit by one, you're gonna start turning into a sheep. It's it's an experience, but it's so over the top ridiculous that I love it. What can I say? There's also Dead Alive, which was actually directed by Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings. If you didn't know, before he became like a mega director with those movies, he did horror movies back in New Zealand, and they are, I don't even know if I can describe them, but Dead Alive, it's as the title might suggest, it's a zombie movie, and it's just, I mean, I don't want to give it away too much, but I mean, there's like a priest who does karate, and as a direct quote from the movie, he kicks ass for the Lord, and there's a baby zombie. You have to trust me. You have to watch this movie because it's just, I don't have words to explain how different it is. It's just, everybody who watches this video are gonna think that I'm a huge weirdo, and you would not be wrong, but I just really love ridiculous things. Like, I don't know. There's another more recent movie called Housebound that ends up being really ridiculous and really good. That's also a New Zealand film. I kind of touched on Thanksgiving, which again, it's really, don't watch it by yourself because it's only like I think an hour and 15 minutes. It's not even that long, but it's one of those movies it's one of those bad movies that if you watch it by yourself, it's just bad. But when you watch it with other people and you're making fun of it the whole time, it's tolerable. But the other movies that I'm talking about, you can watch them by yourself and they'll still be good. But Thanksgiving will not be good. I'm trying to think what other ones would I suggest that are so bad they're good. I know I have more. Well, while I think about it, I'm gonna take the bleached shade and then go in the inner half of my crease transition area. And this is, I'll mention this one, and it's not a horror movie by any means. It's just straight up a comedy movie, but because it's like the source material is horror, I'll mention it. But Dracula Dead and Loving It by Mel Brooks, which if you've never seen a Mel Brooks movie, you are missing out, because if you want ridiculous slapstick, he's your guy. But Dracula Dead and Loving It, I think was the last movie he ever made. I mean, he's still alive. He's not dead yet. I will be devastated when he dies, but he just hasn't made any films in a long time. But Dracula Dead and Loving It, and it stars Leslie Nielsen, and like it's not scary. It's not supposed to be scary in the slightest, but I just thought I'd mention it because the source material, Dracula, but I love that movie too. Okay, now I'm gonna take this tie-dye shade and do most of my lid with it. You know, no, I'm not gonna do glitter glue yet. I want to see how this performs with just regular eye primer, but I will spritz the brush to give it a little extra help. This color is definitely right up my alley. Well, that might be the end of horror movie chat because I can't, off the top of my head, think of any other ones that I would really recommend. Not to say there aren't more, but like I said, I'm not prepared for this. I was just kind of gonna talk about whatever. Oh, The Shining is good. If you haven't seen The Shining, it's a good, pretty scary movie. The book is pretty different. I like both the book and the movie, but The Shining it's a classic. Probably, in my opinion, because it is from Stephen King too, but The Shining, in my opinion, is probably one of the scariest adaptations of a Stephen King novel. Why do I keep shutting that? I don't know. Well, I guess, I know I've touched on it before. It's not, you know what, I'm going to do glitter glue for this like flaky formula just because I don't want it to fall out all over the place. I talked about it in one of my previous Get Ready With Me's, but The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, it's a series, not a movie, but that definitely had some creepy moments, and it's an anthology, so there's The Haunting of Bly Manor is the new one that just came out. I've only watched the first episode so far, so nothing like too creepy has happened yet, but those are really good. How do I want to lay this on? Maybe I'll just take, I know this is more of a eyeliner brush, but I want, ooh, this one is really like, I've never used a, maybe I need to use my finger. Yeah, I think I need to use my finger. Never used like a flaky type of formula before, so I'm not. Ooh. That's, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the pan. It's like a really light blue, but it's got kind of some gold reflex in it. It's really pretty. It's very creamy, almost like, it almost feels like a Super Shock, but chunkier. Yeah. Well, as I ruin my whole look. See, because I did it, I actually went in with my finger on this side. It's much stronger, so I'm gonna have to try to even it out on this side a little bit. That's really pretty. I am very much enjoying this. Thank you, Lisa. It's pretty nice. I mean, obviously it's pretty cohesive blue look. Okay, it's very shiny. I like shiny things. I am going to do my eyeliner real quick and then I'll come back because I can't talk while I do my eyeliner and nobody wants to see me do my eyeliner mascara for 6 minutes in silence. So I'll be right back. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on with my hair, so this is as good as it's gonna get, but this is everything. I used this ColourPop liquid liner in Crazy. I can never get my liner even, so I'm not even gonna whatever. But I have started doing where I've only been basically doing the wing and not bringing it all the way over because you can see my eyeshadow better when I do it that way. So I like that way. It's just I wish I could get my wings even. But the lipstick doesn't really go with the look, but that's okay. I don't care because I'm not leaving the house. But I really, so all the things that I used, I love everything. Maybe not together. Maybe like this, maybe the blush and the highlighter look okay. The lip with the blue eyes, it's like a bold lip and a bold eye. They're kind of clashing a little bit, but that's all right. But everything, I really like this, and I want to try more out from Lovelux Beauty, but I need to stop buying so much stuff. So it'll just go on, I have a wish list with them, but this little quad, obviously I don't know how it's gonna wear, but the application was nice. There wasn't really a lot of fallout. I had a little trouble with this fringe shade, but that's just because it's like a flaky formula, and I just have to, like, I used my finger. Once I used my finger, it was fine, but trying to put it on the brush didn't really work so well. But I think the eye look came out really nice. I like the color of this lipstick. I like the lipstick. I really do like this Rare Beauty blush. I've used it a couple times already. This wasn't a first impressions of the blush at all, because I have used this a couple times, and I really do like, you only need a tiny little bit, but I think it looks really pretty. I like the way it applied with the stipple brush. I think it applied really well. And then this highlighter I think is really gorgeous. I'm really glad I picked this up. So that was probably a very long, rambly, favorite horror movie style get ready with me. If you are into horror things, Robert Welsh does his ghost story and makeup Mondays, which I know he was inspired by Bailey Sarian, who I haven't watched any of her videos. I think she does murder mystery and makeup Mondays or something. I'm more interested in the supernatural / paranormal than true crime, so I haven't watched any of her stuff. But Trina from Beauty Habitua has been doing ghost stories. She's done 3 so far. And Audra at Home does Terror Tuesdays. So I'll have all of their channels linked down below as well if you want more like spooky makeup content, which I don't think this was spooky at all, but you know what I mean. But I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me. If you like scary movies, maybe you have a few new recommendations. If you made it all the way to the end, tell me your favorite scary movie in the comment section below, because I'm always on the lookout for more scary movies to watch, even if I'm not going to get to them for a while. But with that being said, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. You're all staying safe and sane and healthy, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.